Hi guys, 18Dap here and welcome to the latest matchday preview for the channel. It's this weekend's League 2 fixture. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Cheltenham Town. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to the latest matchday preview, Doncaster Rovers versus Cheltenham Town in League 2. Looking forward to this one, the return of George Miller. We will see if he comes back to haunt us. But as always, if you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in and continuing to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated. If this video has brought you to the channel and you like this sort of content, it's down your street, then please, by all means, click subscribe. And if this is the first video that you have seen, this is the format that we do match previews in. We look at previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to say a few words about, and then I also choose my opponent's one to watch. But as I always say, you know your club much better than I do, so if there's somebody else that needs to be a part of that conversation, get them in the comments down below. I do like to learn about all the clubs that we face across the season. And then we finish the video off with three predictions: the predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, the predictions league table that me and the family do for every single league game, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Donny and Cheltenham have only faced off a total of 12 times in our history, and it's good reading for us Rovers fans, with us winning 7 out of 12, so just over 50% there. We've shared the spoils on 2 occasions, which leaves 3 for Cheltenham to win. Diving down into our more recent 5, and it's 4 wins on the bounce, but then the most recent fixture between the two was a thumping 4-0 defeat. So we jump back to 2009 in the FA Cup, which was a 3-0 home win. It'd be nice to get that tomorrow. And then we jump forward to 2016-17 in League 2, where Donny did the double with a 1-0 away win and a 2-0 home win. Either of those scorelines to the Rovers would do me, a 1-0 or a 2-0, just 3 points would be nice. And then the 2021-22 season, we won the home fixture 3-2, but got thumped, as I said earlier, 4-0 in the return fixture in the 2021-22 season. So historically, it's looking okay. It's looking good for Donny, but as we saw midweek, history means absolutely nothing in football. We weren't too good against Fleetwood. We managed to turn that one around. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but it's nice to finally see one where it's in Rovers' favour. On to current form. Probably in Rovers' favour once again. So looking at Donny's last 5, 3 draws on the bounce, a win after extra time in the FA Cup, and then a good victory midweek against Fleetwood. Cheltenham, on the other hand, very inconsistent form, with a draw, a defeat, a win, a defeat and a draw. So yeah, real hit and miss for Cheltenham. Lack of consistency, which kind of explains where they are in the table. On Donny though, after a tough 120 minutes on Sunday, we looked decent Wednesday against Fleetwood. There was a change in shape, change in personnel, and for me it gave the team quite a lot of energy and impetus, and it was nice to see. It left us a little bit open at the back with the shape, but I'm not that fussed if we score more than the opposition. We're going to win games, aren't we? Simple as that. There was some lovely football for the goals. We ran out 4-2 winners in absolute horrid conditions. I think we played the conditions really well in the first half, and then we were running into the wind in the second half, but we looked comfortable for big portions of the game, which was nice to see. The win on Wednesday did put us back in the top 3 as well, which is nice to see, albeit with the chasing pack a game and only a couple of points behind. So if they win their game in hand, we will drop down to 5th, but if we keep on winning, it's going to put the pressure on them, isn't it? So it'd be nice to get another 3 points tomorrow. One concern though, coming into this one less day's preparation. Could it impact the game? Potentially, hopefully not. We thought that could have been a potential negative against Fleetwood on Wednesday, having played Sunday, and I think we've got enough strength in depth to make a few changes and freshen it up. So I don't think it will impact the game, but you never know. On to Cheltenham though. It took a 94th minute equaliser on Tuesday for them not to get all 3 points against league leaders Port Vale. So it shows that although a little inconsistent in form, we're going to have to go toe to toe with them and play well to get something from this one, as Port Vale are a very good team and top of the table, rightly so. But yeah, took 94 minutes to break Cheltenham down. Cheltenham had minimal possession in that game as well, but created plenty of chances with it. So they had similar stats to Port Vale on the night. I think they had 10 shots at goal, 4 on target or 3 on target, whereas Port Vale had 14 and 4. So similar shooting stats, but Cheltenham only had 36% of the possession. So I think they're a team that are comfortable without the ball, and we've seen that a few times at the Eco Power Stadium, where a team will come and be comfortable without the ball, let us play all the football and take something away. So hopefully that's not a pattern that repeats itself tomorrow. Cheltenham currently sit 15th on 22 points, and fell out of the FA Cup at the second round stage 2-0 to Salford. So they still have the Football League trophy, formerly the Bristol Street Motors. I think it's the Ventu trophy now, who knows, it'll change again probably by the end of the season. It is a slight distraction for them though, but I think they'll be wanting to win points as soon as possible and start climbing the table sooner rather than later. So I think it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, like I say, they took Port Vale all the way, look comfortable without the ball, and we struggle against teams like that, but hopefully we can turn that pattern around tomorrow and come out with the 3 points. On to player profile. So for this one, I've gone with Kyle Hurst, left winger. Great goal on Wednesday night in off the underside of the bar, and hopefully that gives Kyle loads and loads of confidence. I've personally not been sold on him for large parts of last season and this. I think injuries played an important part of that last season, but I think we've not really seen the Kyle Hurst that we saw in the first season, but he certainly seems to be finding his feet. Again, a bit more kind of consistency in the team, a few more minutes. I think we're starting to see glimpses of the Kyle Hurst that we saw in the first season of him being at the club. And for me, he put in a really good performance midweek, and it just gives us that different dimension when he's on his game, on his day for sure. One of the better attackers in the league. So hopefully we're starting to see a bit more of that, and we'll get that consistently. And hopefully the goal gives him enough confidence to kind of play with a bit of freedom. On to the opponent's one to watch. So as I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than I do, so if there's somebody else that we should be talking about at this stage, please get them in the comments down below. I was going to go with George Miller because obviously there's the link between Doncaster and Cheltenham there, but I have opted with Ethan Archer, 22-year-old attacking midfielder, and the reason I've gone with Ethan is he's got the equal goal contributions, top goal contributions for Cheltenham with 9, but he has assisted the most. So I think he's got 5 goals, 4 assists, and there's another player, his name escapes, and he's got 6 goals, 3 assists. But I think this lad, young, quick, really positive in his play. Not many appearances across his career so far, only 48, but 7 goals and 4 assists, and the majority of those coming this season at Cheltenham. So it's a bit of a breakthrough season for him, and is looking decent. Like I say, he's contributed 9 goals so far this season, which is nothing to be sniffed at. So I think if we cut out his creativeness, then we've got a chance of getting 3 points tomorrow. Moving on to the predicted team lineup. As always, if you've not downloaded FanHub, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into. I have changed the shape like we did on Wednesday night. I have matched it because I thought, like I say, we left ourselves open a little bit at the back sometimes, but I think it gave us more opportunities and more options in attack, and we scored 4 goals, and goals have been tough to come by for Donny. So I think we've got to stick with it. So I've gone Teddy Sharman low in goal, a back 3 of Oluwu, Anderson and McGrath, a midfield 4 of Molyneux, Bailey. Bring Kelly in. I'm a bit torn with Broadbent. When he plays, we tend to do well, so he could potentially be there instead of Kelly. Maxwell on the left with Hurst just behind the front 2 of Ironside and Sharp. I thought the partnership is starting to build. Hopefully that continues to do so. And yeah, we scored goals on Wednesday, so I think you've got to stick with something that works, and maybe just swap it up with personnel just to freshen it up a little bit. So that's what I'm going with for my predicted lineup. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Onto the predictions league table. There is a little update on this. So Chris and Max both went with wins on Wednesday night. Obviously, if you saw my video, I went with a 1-0 defeat, and my dad went with the typical Desmond 2-2. my prediction wasn't really welcomed by quite a few, so I'm hoping my score prediction in a short while will be welcomed by that David and the chat a little bit more this week. But yeah, the table. Chris is in first on 13. Me and Max joint second on 11, and Dad in fourth on 8 points. So a little bit of movement, but not much. And that takes me on to the all important score prediction. So yeah, got a bit of slaver for going for a 1-0 defeat against Fleetwood, but I'll always say it and I'll always stick by it. I think you've got to predict with your head and not your heart. I want Donny to win every single game, but I'm realistic. We're never going to win every single game. I'm hoping though that the confidence from being unbeaten in so many, I think it's maybe 7 or 8 now unbeaten. Hopefully we can continue that. I don't want another draw at home. We need to play like we did on Wednesday, and we don't need to fear any team in this division. We will need to go toe to toe with Cheltenham. They've shown that they can do that with Port Vale midweek, but I think we're going to be strong enough to get by them. I am going with Donny 3, Cheltenham 1. Fingers crossed I'm spot on with that one. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you've enjoyed it, smack a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.